The trouble that we have today is by the time we get to Earth orbit, it takes so much energy. We're going around in orbit, around in circles. We're going nowhere fast. Our tanks are on empty. And what we need to do to get humanity up and off of this planet is to refill those tanks. If you had a railroad tanker car, which is 200,000 pounds or 100 tons of liquid, that tank isn't all that big when you look at it. But if you had to lift that amount of water into low Earth orbit, 200,000 pounds at $10,000 a pound, that's $2 billion. A tanker of water in Earth orbit is worth about $2 billion. Certainly, we can figure out how to go get water from dormant comets, these energetically easy dormant comets to get to. If we can do that, then we've got the Standard Oil of space, and humanity is unleashed. We can fill our tanks in Earth orbit, and we can go anywhere in the solar system. I believe that space has been bogged down in the old mainframe way of thinking that bigger is better, and we have this mainframe mentality that has held back the development of space because these large companies exist on cost plus fixed fee contracting, where the bigger the cost, the bigger their fee, and they're afraid of taking risks. They use technology that has heritage, which means it's flown before. How can you have progress if you only fly things that have flown before? In late 1996, when I decided to get into space, I could have gone as an investor or starting my own company. I read a lot of business plans from many of the entrepreneurs who are still around today, and they all had three things in common. None of the founders had any practical experience in starting and running companies. None of them had any track record of actually going from concept to product, and all of them required at least one non-existent piece of technology. I kept asking myself, how can you make money in space? I didn't have the resources to do communication satellites for a few $100 million, and that's a well-established industry, so I had to look beyond that. I started to realize that there are these vast, untapped, available, concentrated natural resources in near-Earth space that are easy and relatively inexpensive to get to, and that can form the building block of self-sustaining human settlements in space. I've been a very strong believer that the 100 million near-Earth objects, that's where we need to be concentrating, because there are bountiful natural resources, concentrated water, carbonaceous materials, metallics of all kinds. 25% of the near-Earth objects are the easiest objects in the solar system to get to, easier than Mars, easier than the Moon, and easier means less energy, less money. Those are lifeless bodies. There's no life to displace. No one owns them. We need to go out and start tapping into those concentrated natural resources in space, living off the land, using the water for propulsion, for life support, and the other materials to sustain human settlements in space eventually. If we're going to open the infinite frontier, space, that's going to be done by open-minded, educated people who have a thirst for adventure and exploration and entrepreneurialism, and anybody in the world who has those values can participate. It doesn't have anything to do with nationality. I think it has to do a lot with just education and attitude on opening up space to humanity and finding ways to have self-sustaining communities and settlements in Earth orbit and beyond. There's no reason why humanity can't explore and settle the entire solar system. We just need to get started off on the correct technological building block approach, step by step, and I believe it's going to be the private sector that does that.